So I'm going to go back to the teeth. Just about done with that. I'm going to also add some back into the retromolar hyoid area. And this cast, I don't really have room to get back there, so I'm just going to fill that space. This is not for a final denture, so it's not as important that I have this. It would be nice if I had it. I'd take it. But I'm not concerned about it at this point. I can always come back and get it when I do my master impression. The point is, I need this cast because I am going to make a denture on this. It's going to serve as a temporary restoration for my patient, and I would like to have it processed and have it as close to fitting well as an interim can. So I want to preserve this anatomy to give us a good shot. A little undercut right here. And there's definitely some undercuts here in the front. I don't know if you can see it on the big screen, but you're definitely going to see it on the video that Dr. Pearson is taking. You have this ridge, and then you have an undercut here. I have a large undercut right there, and a little bit of one coming forward. So I'm going to really block that area out. And a lot of this undercut, I shouldn't say a lot, all of this undercut that I'm blocking out now on both sides is going to be eliminated at the surgery phase for this patient. So when I do his final denture, I won't have to block out quite this much. For now, his interim is going to be a little bit thicker than I would like it to be because I have to use some excess. So I'm getting rid of any of that wax that's going up on the other side of my land area because I don't need it. It's just going to be in my way. I got one more little spot to do and we'll make the record base here. I've even got a little undercut on the lingual side of this too. Tissue's just really angry around these teeth because there's not much left of them. All right. There's always more to block out on actual patients than on your projects because these are made from kind of perfect anatomy scenarios, and our patients are far from perfect when it comes to anatomical limitations. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to set this wax out of my way. gonna Vaseline my cast. It's okay to get a little Vaseline on the land area too, because you're gonna have some flash. It just helps it all to remove a little bit easier.
Can you get my grab the pencil back?
Alright, so on the mandible, there's a couple ways you can trim this ahead of time into a U shape, or you can just come in and adapt it and trim away all the excess. Usually for a custom tray, I trim it. For a record base, I usually leave it just so I can kind of come over this edge and stretch what I need to reach the anterior portion. Then I can kind of pull and tug on it into the orientation that I want, and then eliminate the excess that folds over itself in areas like that. Or if it gets a little thin in the retromolar pad area, I can roll some excess up on that. So when I do this, I'm going to trim it a little bit long on that lingual side initially, and then decide how much do I really need. The nice thing is about this triad is as long as it's uncured, you can add to it. So if you're not happy with the thickness of a certain area, or you feel like you need to adapt it some more, you can always come back and do that. I always suggest setting this on the clear paper so that it stays clean. Again, I'm adapting this really well into that vestibule, rolling it over onto itself. This area right here for this patient, I'm probably going to be, I didn't trim that off in the cast, so I'm probably going to be looking at dealing with an undercut there. I'm just going to roll it over a little. Again, if this were for a final denture, I would want to get rid of that wall so that I can extend this all the way up there. You see, as I was teasing that around that, it dropped into that space, and now there's some thickness there. There's a space where I thought that was full, but as I tucked it in, it created all of that space. It's okay if you have that in some areas, because you can always add that back later in wax. What you don't want is for the whole thing to be like that, because then you don't have as much stability of your denture base or your record base when you're putting it in your patient's mouth. So kind of just, you know, you don't have to come back and fix every tiny little area at this point of the game. But you want to keep the concept of the more I grab onto, the more surface area contact I have, the more stable and accurate my record is going to be. The more you keep it clean now and smooth, the less work you're going to have to do after it's cured. Okay, so I'm going to come back where this takes the upturn. I'm going to go ahead and score it forward from that. And I'm going to cure this while I take care of the maxillary one. So while that first 20 seconds is going, I'm gonna use a blade or a buffalo knife, and I'm gonna tease this out of here. I don't wanna just put it under one area and crank on it. I wanna go around it. I'm gonna do this in the screen. So I don't wanna come in here and just shove this under here and lift it up. I wanna tease it a little here, coming around it to release it from the cast. And then it should just drop off of there. Okay, so you should have something that mimics the negative of this positive on the inside. You're gonna see that you're gonna have a little line where the land area kind of bumps into it. It'll feel sharp and rough. And you're gonna take your acrylic burr and smooth all that out. But first, I need to cure the inside. So a little Vaseline for the air inhibited layer. I'm gonna readapt my mandible.